Prayer on our behalf.
Let's pray. Our Father in heaven, I think I'm like a lot of people in this room. We appreciate all the seasons, but Father, we especially like spring with green grass and the flowers and the birds and anticipation of gardens. Father, it just gets us alive here in this world, and we're so thankful for that. We've been blessed. Father, we just pray for this meeting tonight, and we just bless this City County Council as they deliberate on ideas, and Father, may they be in harmony, may they make good decisions. And Father, we're also thankful for Fayette County and those who have gone before us all these years, celebrating our bicentennial this month. Many people, Father, gave of their lives and their time and their efforts. The heritage is intense. Father, we're just more thankful for all that those folks have done. We pray, Father, for the celebration this year, and we know that there's a lot of work that's gone in with the committee. And we just pray, Father, you'll bless those activities and bless us all. And these things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
We can stay standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Please silence your phones if you have our electronic devices if they're not already. Appreciate that. We'll call this meeting to order. Has everybody had an opportunity to read the minutes for our April 2nd meeting? And if so, are there any additions, corrections, or deletions that need to be made?
I'll make the motion that we accept them as written.
We have a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
We have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the minutes from April 2nd, please do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion carries. Pass it down for signatures. Does anybody have any mail that they would like to share with the council? If not, I do. We are already aware of this as it was posted in the paper on Sunday, but May 3rd, there was a letter written by Sam Bell, the VP of Finance and CFO of Fayette Regional. Basically, it's a carbon copy of what was in the paper on Sunday, but I'll read it for those that may not have read it in the paper Sunday. It was sent to the mayor and both myself, and I would imagine that. Did you get me, Gary?
You're more special.
I know. Seniority. It's in regards to the Warrant Act notification. Gentlemen, this letter will serve as notice pursuant to the Worker Adjustment and Retraining Notification Act of 1988 warrant, which requires employers to give notice to the local government of a pending closure. Fayette Memorial Hospital Association Incorporated, doing business as Fayette Regional Health System, Fayette, has been operating in a Chapter 11 bankruptcy since October 11, 2018. While Fayette is continuing to negotiate with various parties in the hope of accomplishing a sale of its assets, Fayette, as an operating company, will be permanently closing operations at all facilities operated by Fayette, effective no later than July 31st, 2019. In conjunction with the cessation of operations, the employment of all Fayette employees will end. These employment terminations are expected to be permanent. While the actual closure date is as yet unknown, Fayette has provided its affected employees with written notice and expects to continue employment of those individuals through at least the 60-day period ending July 3rd, 2019. A list of the affected employees' job titles and classifications and the number of affected employees in each classification is attached to this letter. Must be really tiny. While the actual Employees at Fayette are not represented by a union and no bumping rights exist. If you have further questions regarding this notice, please contact Sam Bell, Vice President in Finance and CFO at Fayette Regional. There was no attachment within this mail, this letter that I received. I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about it, because there's things that are still ongoing. It's not done. It just means that it's serving notice that as hospital employees, they will not be employed as Fayette Regional, Fayette Memorial Hospital employees. That doesn't mean that it couldn't be acquired between now and then, and they be rehired under the whoever may own it. And I'm not implying or hinting or saying that there's something imminent, because I don't know. I know as a county elected official, and I probably speak for most of us here, and I'm going to speak with commissioners, that it was our desire to do everything that we could to retain the hospital and to keep it here as a whole. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. I think we were invited to the party a little too late for us to be effective, to get our resources together, to be able to discuss things with other people and on thoughts and ideas we may have. Though it may appear from the public side that we were quiet and we're not really engaged or involved, that couldn't be further from the truth. Because of non-disclosure agreements and confidentiality, we were not allowed to say anything to anybody or share what we may have heard. And there's a lot of reasons for that. There's no sense in getting somebody's hopes up if it's a 1% chance of happening. And I've learned, as many of us have, that even if it's a 99% chance, until that document is signed and you have it in your hand, or whatever it is you've officially started, nothing is guaranteed, nothing is for sure. We certainly want to see this hospital succeed. We certainly want to see the employees stay here. We want the services to be here for our residents. But the matter is out of the county's hands at this point. There's nothing we can do about it except sit back and patiently wait and all pray for the best. So, like I said, I don't want to get into really that topic because it's not on the agenda, but the letter was in my inbox. I wanted to share it with everybody so they're aware of what I received. With that being said, I'll move on to our county attorney, Attorney Westling. Do you have anything that you would like to add or share?
No, I think you did a pretty good job covering it. I mean, I'll be happy to answer any questions anybody has about it, but I think Mike did a pretty fantastic job of explaining the situation. I don't think that anything's over by a long shot. I still think we need to be possibly ready to assist if some company would need our assistance, maybe a partnership type of situation. But I don't know how. I mean, I don't really know how it's going to go from here, and I don't think anybody can really tell us accurately what's going to happen from here on out. So we just kind of have to see how it goes and hope for the best. But I would agree with Mike. I think a very important thing is that I do think that you did what was important to make sure if there was the ability to assist, you were going to be there able to do so, and that still may be the case. So I wouldn't lose hope by any stretch of the imagination.
We as a county are open to any ideas that would make sense to the county and the residents of Fayette County. But we're not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater to see if that happens. You know, if you understand where I'm going with that. If there's an opportunity to make it work, we'll do whatever we can, work with the hospital to make it work. But we're limited in what we can do. So that's all I have. Reports. Committee reports. Kathy is over the.
Wages and salary, or no?
Yeah.
And she covered for me at corrections.
I'm sorry?
And she covered for me this month at corrections.
Okay.
So,
I had some. I shared an email with Jane to forward on to everyone from the Eastern Indiana Regional Planning Commission.
Or not,
I'm appointed to it.
it's different.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to say that that was forwarded out, really.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, it was forwarded out to everyone, because I wanted to get
What was
the,
it in regards to?
the housing study and review and comments that the commission wanted to share with all our people down here, so I just forwarded it out.
Okay.
Just kind of want to make that public knowledge.
Okay. The committee reports were, we asked that we typically talk about the budget and the wage and salary one, that's what we're referring to. But thank you for sharing that email with everybody. As a budget committee, I'd like to meet in the next couple of weeks to discuss a plan going forward with how we're going to deal with the budget. Budget hearings coming up. I think that we can be more efficient in our process and get to the point a little quicker if we're all educated, understand what we can and can't do, and what is expected of us and what's expected of the department heads. So if there's some availability the next couple of weeks that makes sense, I'm open to that. If you want to think about that during the course of the meeting and get back to me, or at an email at a later time, we can do that.
How much time would you want to meet?
Well, probably an hour, I think.
If we could do it 4:30, anytime would be great. if we
Okay, I can make that work. Just let me know what days work best for you.
could. Tuesday. Keep it with our normal
Tuesday.
day.
Okay. Okay, David.
Are you looking into 14th? That Tuesday?
No, I will not be in town that week.
21st?
I can't do that.
20. First, I'm make sure I got the right calendar up here.
How about the
Yeah, I
28th?
don't-
19, 2019's on this side, the little 2018's on the
Yeah.
left, 2019 on the right.
April's sitting on top.
Well, I guess I could do the 21st. Is that an hour, about an hour, you said?
We have a meeting on the 21st, correct?
Yeah,
What time is that?
5 o'clock.
Can't do that.
28th?
I believe that that works for me.
Day of Memorial Day would,
Mark, does that work for you?
yeah.
So the 28th at 4:30? Okay,
Here?
yes. Basically, I'd like to talk about some thoughts that I have and bounce them off of the committee and see how they feel and revise it, tweak as needed, but have a plan of attack going into the budget hearings, and we're looking forward to that.
Okay.
Okay. Apologize to the commissioners, I was not able to be at your meeting at 2 o'clock. Do you have anything?
Just a couple of things, Mark. First of all, talking about the 21st of May, I'd like to invite the council to a joint meeting with RQAW so that we can sit down with them and finalize that feasibility study agreement on what we want to do and whatnot. That would be, I've got it scheduled with them for the May 21st at 5 o'clock p.m. Here. Most likely we'll probably go down to the prosecutor's room if it's available so we can kind of sit around the table. I'd like to go ahead and invite the sheriff and community corrections director so that they can have input as well on the directions that we need to go and what we need to actually study. Also,
after further review, Jane and I was going over some of the budgets and whatnot, and we've got a request to cover, for an additional appropriation to cover the contractual arrangements with the accounting firm and the law firms, with the Fayette Regional issue. At this time, I don't think we need to go forward with that additional, because after a review and budget, we've got money set aside in the capital improvement plan that can be used for that. So I think for right now, we'll just hold off on that additional appropriation request that's before you tonight on that. I don't think there's anything else, Dale, is there, pressing?
I don't have anything in mind right now.
Okay. Any questions for myself or Dale or on anything? We just felt that it was time that we needed to be working forward with this feasibility study and start working towards that and getting that laid out so that we can enter into a contract with them so we can get that started. We want to continue to operate in good faith with the jail inspector and in trying to solve our overcrowding and our DOC issues. And I think as long as we're making a forward progress, I think they understand to a certain extent that it doesn't happen overnight. You don't fix things overnight. So I wanted to make sure we got to moving with that. And I apologize that it's been drug out this long but I've just spent so many hours on the Fayette Regional issue that I haven't had time to concentrate on that.
I do have a question, and I know it's another piece of we've just been preoccupied with the Fayette Regional, but have we made any more progress with the Centerstone Meridian piece of life?
I don't, where we were going to try to seek.
Right. That's kind of on Meridian to take the step forward, and they have not. They have to fill out. I think this is one I gave Jane, but there's like an application that we can't do. They have to get essentially certified in that county, which should be an easy path for them because they're certified in probably half the counties. But I think there's something to do with they don't step on each other's toes.
Do they know? Because I've been asked about it again just recently.
By who?
By the director of our local Meridian, Jessica.
I think you
You've
actually,
been aware of it.
you talked with a lawyer, one of their,
No, I think you had told me that you talked to somebody. I don't think I talked to anybody at Meridian.
Yeah, because from what I understood is Meridian's already certified.
Yeah.
But not in our county.
Well, they may be certified in our county, but they're not willing to fill out the application to be able to receive half the funding.
to be a,
Yeah, but whatever
what's the term,
I was
provider?
saying, I can think, whatever their specific terms are, right now at the state level, the only person is Centerstone.
Is
So,
Centerstone.
the only organization, like they have to do,
But if you have talked to somebody in the director, that person, I would say if that person got a hold of Jane and said, we're prepared to do whatever we need to do to get our share of the funding, then I think we can make that person can get with me and we can make that happen.
We felt that it was, I think in our conversations, we felt that we let Meridian know that we're interested in sharing those monies with every organization that is a certified mental health provider in our community. But we felt that it wasn't our place to spend attorney dollars and so on and so forth to petition the state to make Meridian a county provider.
I think that there's probably been some sort of miscommunication somewhere
Okay.
in the lines, just because our local person has contacted me a couple of times believing that they had done everything they needed to do.
Okay.
And so it leads me to believe that somewhere along the line there's a miscommunication.
I think somewhere, yeah. And I can't speak to that. I would tell you, if they got a hold of me, and sat down with me, we could probably get it squared away and probably get it figured out. Because I think the board just needs to have the understanding that they are compliant, and then we can adjust that ratio. And it would be good to have that before the budget time.
Yeah.
Because it's probably not going to impact anything that happens this year, but it could certainly, it may happen, it may change something this year, but I'm more likely next year.
From my understanding, that hadn't been paid out because things had gotten put on hold with some of the other things that we were.
And that may be the case, I'm not sure there. But either way, it would be my pleasure if you had them call my office, and I'll get it squared away.
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you have the director's name?
Well, locally it's Jessica Burton.
Okay.
But she meets with her regional, it was Sayward, I can't even think, but there's a new person there now. And
Okay.
but I can absolutely connect the two of you.
Yeah, just have them call me and we'll get it squared away. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else for us? All right, thanks.
Thank you. We have no EDG representative. We have no old business. Is there any new business that needs to be brought forth? Okay, moving on. Transfers, additionals, and reductions. Additional appropriation request by the Health Department to pay for Stericycle trash hauling in the amount of $500.
Yes. And last year, they requested that in their budget. We did not approve it in their budget because we was comparing to the year before where they did not spend that money. The year before they had a grant to cover it, and that was why.
Yeah. Is there anybody that would like to?
I mean, is it something that we should, I mean, like,
We come out of general fund or where?
yeah.
Yeah, they have to pay for it. So it was just in years past, they had grants to cover it. So,
I'll make a motion that we approve their additional appropriation.
A second.
We have a motion to approve the additional appropriation request from the Health Department in the amount of $500. One will be for trash hauling. We have a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving this additional appropriation request in the amount of $500, please do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries.
the needles, the boxes, the needles. Yeah, I'm sorry, because as we're thinking about it, I'm like, I guess I do need to explain that. It's like the little boxes that they, yeah, that have to be treated in a certain manner.
We have an additional appropriation request from the Department of Soil and Water in the amount of $5,000. Are they moving money from, oh, I'm sorry, Dave. You look kind of like Gary. I just didn't mean that as an insult, I'm sorry.
He's a lot better looking than that. I'll explain what it is. First of all, you folks budget to soil and water already. We have a budget with you. We appreciate that very much for helping with ongoing things we're doing now. This is in addition, and I got good news and bad news about it. The bad news is we may not want just 5,000. It might be as much as 8,000. The good news is that we give it all back to you. And the way that works is the Clean Water of Indiana Act allows for up to $10,000 of matching funds to go to each soil and water conservation district. That matches, those funds have to match monies that came from a municipal entity, like the city or the county. So the funds we now obtain from you, that we also, they will match those dollars to help us out with our budget. What I'm looking at doing now, and I've talked with Jane about it, not quite sure yet how to do it, but we would like to hire a staff person to help us out. We really need to have somebody sitting in our office answering the phone. We're going to do it in conjunction with Union County. And if we get this done, the same person will be getting a check from Union County, and they'll be getting a check from us here. And then that combined will make for a pretty decent job, I think, that someone will be attracted to. But anyway, what I'm envisioning is that they work for 2 weeks or whatever the pay period is. You will pay them, and we will immediately write you a check for that amount. Then that, since you have paid some funds, you're a municipal entity, you've paid funds to us, at the end of the year, we turn that into the state of Indiana. They see that, they will match those funds, so we get it all back. We get that compensated. It sounds like money laundering to me, and I've said that a number of times, but the State Board of Accounts approves us doing this. We've cleared it with them. Other counties are doing things like this too because of that matching fund thing from the Clean Water Act. So what I want to get clear to make sure we can do through the county is to do this, to hire a person. I'm envisioning we'd like to get someone pretty competent with a computer and someone who could help be creative about writing grants, doing things that we need to do, make flyers for events we're having, things like that. And so we want somebody that's competent, and we'll pay them, I'm thinking 12, 14 an hour. We would be able to support 10 to 12 hours a week that way. Combine that with Union County doing the same thing, and it would make for a nice part-time job for someone. So hopefully we can do that if this what we're talking about is okay with you folks.
I hear a lot of hopefully with the Union County. I mean, what's your level of certainty with Union County?
I'm certain that they will do it. They're
Okay.
waiting for us.
Because when you say hopefully, that doesn't, to me, that leaves the door open to it possibly not happening. If you say
Well, true.
certain, then
They just lost their person that they have doing that now. They had a person doing this now for the last several years, and that person just resigned, so they want to replace her as soon as they can. And they got funding from their county to do it.
if I remember, you presented the same thing to us last year, correct?
This is the same thing, but at that time, we didn't have Union County to help us out. It was a much weaker presentation, but now Union County needs someone, and the same training, the same type of job, the same type of work will be done for both counties, so it makes it a pretty good fit for one person to cover both.
Dave, is this going to be a continuing job after this year? even?
Yes, yes.
And the funds you're getting reimbursed for are not going to hit our accounts until next year?
Pardon me?
You said the money coming back in will not come back in until next year?
Well, not to Soil and Water, but no, we would compensate, I think we probably, I don't know why we can't, we can compensate the county as we go,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
what he said
it-
initially, like as soon as we hand him a check, he hands me a check right back. I mean, it could be.
The state gets the information about how much municipal funding we've received sometime in December. And then they run it through all, whatever it is they got to process, and we will get that check in May. We just got one from last year, just a few days ago. But we can cover it. We've got enough funding, we can cover that for now, so that we can keep it.
So the 5,000 to 8,000 is just till December 31st?
No, actually, we wouldn't do that much.
Oh.
I'm thinking of an annual, 5,000 to 8,000 a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, between now and the end of the year, it wouldn't be that much. And again, say the bi-weekly pay was $300, whatever it is. I think it would work this way. You'd write a check to that person. We would immediately write you a check for that same amount. So there would be very little float there. If we stop writing you checks, you stop writing checks.
Oh, I make a motion that we approve the soil and water appropriation.
I'll second it.
You have a motion to approve, it's been seconded. Any further discussion on the additional appropriation request from the Soil and Water Department for $5,000?
State Board Council.
It'd be reasonable to think that when the budgets come around, he'll increase his budget for next year by 5,000 to 8,000 to get around an additional next year.
We'll just have to see where we're sitting. It's, you can't say now because we don't know what our numbers are like for next year, but
If it comes right back.
again, we have to, I don't want to commit to something that,
Wait,
we haven't voted yet. Okay. We'll have the vote. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. The last item on the agenda is the Highway Department. You're up. How you doing, Jay?
I'm still awake, that's a plus.
It's pretty good in our meetings.
Okay, this is the additional for the match money for the paving program. We got it all wrote here on up. I don't know if you have this one or not. You should have. It shows everything.
Yeah, it matches. Make sure it goes back to Jay at the end. So, the Highway Department is requesting to pay the match for the Community Crossings Grant in the amount of $331,000 and $331,550. And they're also asking to pay other contractual services in the amount of $30,000. And there's a note here that says, fund averages $82,000 per month in collections. Balance will be over $400,000 in May. Additional to be used is grant match and engineering costs for 2019 Community Crossings paving project. Bueller. Anybody?
I feel like I'm the only one talking, so I'm trying to be still.
Well, we need to do a grant match if this is, we gotta do the community crossing, so
Yeah, it's,
it's not really up for debate, so.
It's there, we just need to approve it.
Right.
Okay, so I'll make a motion, we approve the highway department.
Sounds like somebody else's name on the
Second.
big mouse.
I know, it's like an auction.
We have a motion to approve the additional appropriation for the community crossings match grant and the $30,000 for other contractual services, bringing the total to $361,550. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor of approving this additional appropriation, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. There. Now you can go back to your mac and cheese and hot dogs.
I like if there's a match.
She's doing it.
Get back to me.
All right, there are no 144s. I see no patrons other
I
than,
have a patron announcement.
can I finish getting it out of my mouth?
Ed?
Are there any patron concerns? Go ahead.
I just want to announce to the public that if there's anyone that wants to ride in the parade, ride their horse or horse and wagon, whatever, they can contact me, or they can call 265-7109, or visit the website, which is fayette-forward.com, just for horses. They want to enter the parade on May 18th.
And what time is that parade?
Starts at 1, lineup is at 11.
And I hope that you have great weather for it. I will be out of town that weekend with my son. So hopefully it goes well. Now, are there any other people concerns? If not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? We have a motion to adjourn, second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have it, meeting adjourned.